Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And this is my buddy Puccini. He helps me in the craft room. He's been such a comfort to me since my husband passed. He's another heartbeat in the house, and he's pretty ornery some days and generally causes havoc in my craft room. I have a great card for you today. It is another back to your stash. So I'm using items from the past. I'm using the Expressions in Ink paper, and I'm using the dies for, I think they're called Encircled in Beauty, and they go with the stamp set that's Encircled in Friendship, but I'm just using the dies today. And I'm using the dies from the Artistically Inked bundle and the stamp set. And I made my card a happy birthday, but as I was putting this together, I was just thinking this would make a great Easter card or a Mother's Day card. I'll show you what I did, and let's just get started. Here is my card, and I have used the paper that goes with the Artistically Inked, and I'm trying to remember what that paper's name is, but I'll put it in the video for you. And then this is the stamp set, Artistically Inked, and the dies are called Artistic Dies. Now, what I used from here was I used the Happy Birthday, and I think that might be all that I used this time from this stamp set. And then the dies are these dies here, and I used this long sprig, and I ran one pass on this one. I think it's enough for 2 cards, and then I ran 2 passes of these leaves that are in the set, and I ran them in gold foil. And so the other thing that I used was this stamp set, or die set, called Encircled in Beauty, and it goes along with Encircled in Friendship as the stamp set. And there are 6 dies, and I have 2 of them attached to something right now that I'm going to show you how I cut it. Okay, so let me tell you what you need to do to make this card. We need, I used Very Vanilla. I tried this with white, and I'll show you. I have, just a white thing that I cut out. And it's so stark against these colors that I decided to go to Very Vanilla. So my card base is Very Vanilla, and it's 8.5 by 5.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then I have 2 pieces of Old Olive that are 4 by 5 1/4. Then you need a piece of scrap, and this is a 4-inch wide piece, and these were the other 2 dies that I used. And it's this one that's got the detail around the outside, and it cuts out the inside circle. And there's another die, this one, that is just the perimeter, because if you use just this die, it will cut this pattern out of your paper, but it won't cut the circle out. So you need this other die, and it fits around here perfectly, and you just get them set together, tape them down, and run them through, and what you get when you're done is this piece. And this, I just wanted to have, I don't know, I was in the mood for lacy stuff. So I used this other die that is a large die, and it just cut the perimeter around this piece of Designer Series paper. And you need a piece of Designer Series paper that is at least 4 inches by 4 inches in order to get this big piece. And like I said, when I cut this piece, and then I cut another little medallion, this one from this, and how I used that was on the inside of the card, or maybe it was this one. It might have been this other one that I used. I think it was this one, and it cut out this little circle, and then I used Best Wishes also from this stamp set. That is the other thing I used. So I used the Best Wishes and the Happy Birthday. Okay, and so this is what I did with the inside, and I rounded all of the corners. I haven't done that in a long time, and I thought that would be kind of attractive. So I have my pieces cut here, and then you need a piece that is 1 inch long, and you just need to pick one that coordinates with this. I use this kind of pear olive greenery with a lot of the gold on it because I like that look. And this piece is 5 1/4 by 1 inch. Then you need a piece of designer series paper 4 by 4 to cut that. Then you need a piece of Very Vanilla that is roughly that same size, 4 by 4. Then I cut these things from a piece of gold foil, and I cut 2 passes of the leaves, these leaves down here, and 1 pass of that one, and I've used some of them on this card, but you see that's a pretty long sprig, so I have plenty that I can use on this card. Then we need another piece of designer series paper that is 1 inch by 3 inches, and I've already rounded the corner on that. Then for the inside, we needed a piece of Very Vanilla, 3 3/4 by 5. Then one more of this designer series paper that is 1 inch, and this one ends up being 4 3/4, and I'm off, so let me see what it should be. It should be 3 3/4. So I will cut this one down off camera, and we'll make that one be 3 3/4 to back my Happy Birthday. Then you need a small piece of Very Vanilla scrap to stamp out your Happy Birthday, and we're ready to go. Okay, and then again, that's what I did on the inside. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is round some corners, and I just have, this is an old Project Life. I think the current thing we have that rounds corners is that trifold punch, and it'll work. Anything you have that'll round corners will work. And I always do mine upside down so that I can see, because you know, if you get these off, it's really hard to get it right. So I turn it right upside down. I think you can see that, yes. And then I center that point and then cut the corner, and you get a pretty good rounded corner every single time if you snug it in there and get your point set. Okay, and I want all of my corners rounded on this card. So the easy thing is just to take a minute and get that done straight away. I just thought it would be fun to do something a little different. I haven't rounded any corners or done anything any different in quite some time. And this one I've already rounded, and I didn't follow through on these pieces, but I think I'm going to just leave that. I'm not going to do that. So the very first thing I need to do is adhere this piece onto the bottom. Oh shoot, should have done that before I did the corner rounding. Oh well, I get a new opportunity. So what I'm going to do is use my adhesive here and get this piece put down here just along the bottom edge. Okay, So there we go. I've got my piece on there. And now I just have to go back with my corner rounder and round off that piece of designer series paper to match the bottom of my card. Yeah, there's lots easier ways to do that. All right. Okay, there we go. So now I've got my pretty piece of that green down here on the bottom. And then what I did, you might be able to get away with one of these cut for 2 cards. I just didn't want to take the chance that it wasn't going to quite work. And what I did was I adhered this one to the edge of this and made it so that it was even from top to bottom, and I couldn't see the inside of the circle on this other piece. So you can bring it out a little bit. It's kind of a pretty detail. And so I'm going to set my glue. Let me get a pierce mat, a silicone mat here. If you don't have one of these, they're just a lifesaver for keeping your space clear. And I'm just going to go ahead and add my snail all the way across this because I'm going to go next and adhere it to the card. So, well, I get a little piece of volunteer paper there. And this I want to set down. I'm going to put that right here where you can see what I'm doing, and just set it so that I can't see the inner ring of that circle there. And there we go. And if you do that on your silicone mat, you can pick it right up. The glue doesn't stick to anything else. And I'm going to put some glue on that, generous amount for the edges. And then I thought this one looked best if I offset it just a little bit to one side. I thought it made it look a little bit more interesting. And so there we go. Set across there. More volunteer pieces of paper. And get that put in place. Excellent. All right, now this is ready to go on the front of my card. Gosh, that paper's pretty, isn't it? It's just so beautiful. And I thought, I'm ready for spring and green things. And so I have a tendency to switch after the holidays and start doing cards more like this. But this one, I thought this one would make a great Happy Easter, or it would make a great Mother's Day card. What mother wouldn't be thrilled to get that? And you have lots of mothers in your lives. You have daughters-in-law, you have nieces, you have special friends that are mothers. So even though I don't have my mother anymore, I make several Mother's Day cards, and I probably send out 4 or 5 to family members that are moms, just to help celebrate their special day. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to get a piece of scrap of that very vanilla to do my stamping. Here is my piece of scrap, and I need my stamp with my happy birthday on it, and I need my old olive ink. And this is a red rubber stamp, so I don't need any additional cushion. I just need to get it good and inked up. And I'm going to put it right down here in the corner so that I only have to trim 2 sides. And I let that sit there for just a second and soak up a little bit of that ink. And there's my happy birthday. And I'm going to go off camera and just trim this down. Okay, there's my happy birthday. And now I've got a piece of this beautiful designer series paper to mat my happy birthday, and I want plenty of it showing. And let's see. So the first thing I'm going to do is adhere this to the mat. And this mat again is 1 inch by 3 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to center this. Oops. Well, I got top to bottom, but not side to side. All right, now what I'm going to do is put a couple of dimensionals on the back of this. And actually, because that's designer series paper, I'm actually going to put quite a few. Now I want this piece to come just about over to the edge of this green, and I liked it a little bit lower on the card. And straight across there, that looks good. And then I have just a couple of these gold leaves, and on this one I'm going to use my silicone mat again. And I'd like 2 of these lacy leaves because they match the paper so well, kind of right up along this edge here. And so I've got 2 of those leaves, and then I've got this small solid leaf that I'm going to put sort of between those 2, like that. Then I had this double leaf that I put down here on this end, coming across there with one of these lacy leaves coming across the center of that. And I think I'm going to take off a little bit of that stem so I can stick this underneath there and there. I think that completes the lacy leaves, the lacy borders, the lacy edges, and the rounded corners, and I'm pretty happy with that. And I have more I could put on this, but maybe we'll do it on the inside. Okay, now for the inside, what I have is this piece of old olive and my very vanilla panel for the inside to write your message, and put that in place. And then this piece, let's see, we have one more bit of stamping, don't we? We have that best wishes that I want to get down on this. And here is my best wishes. I want to get that good and inked up. And that's the wonderful thing about stamping in a circle. Any old way will do, because you just turn it around and make it right. And there we go. Oh, shoot, I got a little bit of a line. Okay, well, I have my handy dandy sand eraser here, and I'm just going to scrub that little line right away. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we have this piece that's going to go under here, and I think I put that at a bit of an angle. Let's take a look. See what I did. Yes, I had it going up and away, so it's attached to this way. And I think that looks just fine. So I'm going to add some adhesive on the entire back of this little lacy circle. And I am going to put my best wishes and put my paper here so I can't see it through any of the lacy bits here, like that. And then add my adhesive there. Let's see, could we use a little leaf? Sure, why not? Let's attach a little leaf to that. Do we need one or two? One. Getting carried away. Okay, so here we go. There's my best wishes. Well, that leaf is going to have to move now. There we go, more like that. And put my message inside. That's kind of fun and a little different kind of a decoration. And it's got the same rounded corners as everything else. And that's now ready to go on the inside of my card. And I have an extra gold leaf left over. And that was with 2 passes of the gold leaves in the die set and 1 pass of the lacy leaves. That was more than enough to do the 2 cards, even adding, although I could take that leaf, I suppose, and add it to the detail on the other card that I didn't do before. Well, one thing at a time. Let's get this one put in there since it's all glued and ready to go. There we go. Perfect. Now then, I'm going to take this leaf and I'm going to put it on this little decoration here. Just going to slide that underneath and get that down. Perfect. All right. The last thing I need to do is add some embellishments. And these embellishments are called Gilded Gems. And they're very bright gold. And that's what I wanted for this, is to have, oops, there's some more leaves left over that I didn't use. Time to make another card, I think. And I liked how bright gold these were. So I'm going to add these around the card. And basically, I wanted to cluster these around this part to draw your eye this way, since we moved the color piece and everything over that way. My sentiment comes this way, and then if we put a few of these embellishments on this side, I think it'll complete the balance of this card. So I'm using smaller ones, and then I'm going to use a medium-sized one here in the center, and then just dot these other ones around on the card, just in this little area. I think that'll work. And so that is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, well, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. It's always a good time to join Stampin' Up! The regular join offer is $125 worth of product for $99. So basically you're getting a 25% discount to join, and then your orders as you place them will be at a discount of 20% to start with. And that is a pretty good deal just in general. And we have a wonderful team. I've got women on my team. I don't have a guy on my team yet, but I do have women on my team from all across the country, California to Maine, Florida, and everything in between. We get together monthly for team meetings, and we have projects that we work on, and we do swaps, and we do blog hops. We haven't done one in a while. It's probably time to do that again. and we do a lot of learning and training on our team. It's really a good place for community, a good place to just park yourself and learn and make friends, and we have a pretty good time, and I make sure that my demonstrators are well supported, that you have all of my time that you want, and we go from there. So that's the join offer. Let's see, right now through the month of March, the mini cut and emboss machine is 20% off, including 20 stamp set bundles that are also 20% off, that all work with the mini die cut machine. The altogether stamp set and die set and the wave set is also now available, and we're getting ready already. The annual catalog will come out in May this year. I may have said earlier that it was June, but it is May that it's coming out, and I think that's it. I will be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!